and welcome to Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie, and this is going to be your weekly reading for whenever you see this video. From now on, all my weeklies will be timeless. So whenever you come across it, whenever you see it, is probably when it's right for you. Quick disclaimers, this is a general reading and cannot possibly resonate with everyone. So take what does resonate, leave what does not. And if none of it resonates, then that's okay. This one might not be for you. You can check out one of the readings for one of your other signs. You can go check out some of the many talented, beautiful readers on this platform who may have something more in tune to your situation this week. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor, lawyer, physician, therapist, counselor, financial expert, etc. I am just a girl with a passion for the tarot. And anything that I say resembling advice is based solely on my own opinions, my own knowledge and experiences, my interpretations of the cards, and any other little bits and pieces that may occur to me intuitively throughout this reading. If it does resonate, if you do enjoy it, please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I upload videos in the future. And if you have any ideas or suggestions for types of readings you'd like to see me do on my channel, leave it in a comment, themed readings, pick a cards, etc. Just leave it in a comment. I would love to see your suggestions and implement them in future videos. So, with all that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get started. Starting out with some archetype cards as usual. First we have the Hedonist. See if we can get it to focus there. I don't know, maybe not. Who needs it? Light attributes. Inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life. Celebrates the beauty in yourself. Shadow attributes. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health. Indulges at the expense of others. So this could be you, this could be somebody that you know in your life that you may be dealing with at this time. If it's not you, it's going to be somebody who's relevant to your current situation. Next card we have is the Medallion. Now, the medallion represents an object or something that is passed down throughout the family. It can be an heirloom, it can be an inheritance, it could be a gift. Now, because of the cards we have coming out in the very beginning of this reading, I can definitely see this as being a gift or an inheritance, an amount of money or some sort of material wealth that has been gifted or given to you under whatever circumstances. It could be through the passing of a loved one. It could simply be a gift from a loved one or from your family. Whatever the case, from the Hedonist and the Medallion, I'm definitely getting the vibe that you're being called to pay attention to how you use that gift. If it's an inheritance or if it's an amount of money that has been gifted to you, you're being called to pay attention to how you spend that money, how you invest it. Are you investing it? Are you making it work for you? Or are you kind of, spending it on things that may not hold very much meaning to you? Some of you may consider saving some of that money, if it is indeed money. As opposed to, basically squandering it. That's the negative side of this. That's the danger or the warning that comes from these two cards together. You've been given this gift, and you're being called to make something better out of it, to make something bigger out of it, to turn around and grow it, or, let me just tell you the rest of the cards that came out, because there's a few cards that I always pull before I start recording, and then I pull the rest in the reading. But the next card that came out was the Star. And it says potential. Success, happy endings, and promising beginnings. So you have an opportunity here of some kind to take this medallion, this gift, this inheritance, whatever it is, and invest it in something that you can create. Something that could potentially grow into something bigger for you. Whether it be investing in a business or a home, investing in investments, in stocks, and I know nothing about any of that, so I'm going to stop myself right there. But I really see from this, at this point, that there's an opportunity here to invest in a creative idea, some kind of creative inspiration that could grow into a career, or something bigger than just a momentary enjoyment, something that lasts a lot longer than the simple pleasures that we would like to indulge in when we have received a large amount of money. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't enjoy any money that you might have. There is nothing wrong with that. I want to say that up front, that there is nothing wrong. Let's say you're gifted a large sum of money. And then you turn around and spend that on things that you like, things that you enjoy, expensive food, whatever, a day at the spa. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just being asked to consider putting some of that money, or whatever it may be, towards some kind of creative idea, creative endeavor that could potentially become something that supports you in the future. Something that will last a lot longer than a moment of pleasure. So the next card we have here is change, or wind. It's the wind element, but it represents change. I wish we could get a focus. So this just indicates that there are a lot of changes that are being made in your life at this time, or you're being called to make some changes. Perhaps you're being called to make changes to how you spend your wealth, how you conduct yourself financially, because there is some sort of inspiration, some sort of creative idea that, again, has a lot of potential to become something like a potential future source of income, or just something that holds a lot of meaning to you. So it's about being wise. Wise with your material wealth, and thinking about, the future, and not letting these important opportunities pass you by because you were caught up in the moment. So I'll go ahead now and I'll pull some cards from the Memento Mori deck to get an idea, get some more specifics on the situation for you guys about what might be going on. A specific situation that you may be dealing with at this time. The first card to come out is the Man. Okay. Most likely, this can be referring to, like, your own more masculine qualities, and the masculine has a lot to do with action. But with this deck, usually this is referring to a man in your life. It's either you or it's someone that you know, someone who's relevant to your situation at this time. Let's see what else we've got. Perhaps we can get a little more information on this man and his importance in your situation. Who's this man for Virgo, please? Okay, so we have the wreath. Okay, so this man could be the source of this gift or inheritance. It says in loving memory, but this deck is centered around death, so that it doesn't have to be somebody who's died. But it could be, if you are the man, first of all, then this just confirms that it has to do with the gift that you have received. But this could also be in reference to a man in your life who's giving you a gift, or who has left you a certain amount of money, or who is loaning you money as well. That is a possibility. Let's see what else we've got for you guys. Alright, we have the ring. And the ring in this deck really has a lot to do with commitments. Sometimes it can signify marriage or romantic relationships, romantic commitments. But it's also, it really is just any deep emotional connection or commitment that you make to another person or with another person. It can also represent contracts as well if you are in a contract of any kind at this time. That's something that you need to pay attention to and to pay attention to. I lost my brain for a second. It just fell right out my ear. Let's see what else we've got for you guys. I think it's interesting. We have the wreath and the ring, and they're both kind of these circular objects. The medallion is a circular object. And this brings in the concept of cycles. Cycles and connections. And then we have the star here. Happy endings, promising beginnings. another allusion to the concept of cycles at play in our lives. So it really does seem like an old cycle here has come to an end and a new cycle is beginning, and the focus seems to be on what you're going to change in the way that you conduct yourself, in the way that you do things with this new cycle. And there is a focus on the material, whether it be objects or money, how you handle the material in your life. Next card we have here is the Crown. So obviously with the Crown we think royalty. But the Crown can signify power, wealth, respect as well. Perhaps you are taking a position, or you're being offered a position of power or authority, whether it be in a work environment, or perhaps part of what you've inherited is... Okay, so this is going to be very specific sounding. But let's say this man in your life is somebody who passed away, and they've left you something, an amount of money, or an object that is worth a lot of money, property, etc. But not only are they leaving this to you, but it is attached to some sort of stipulation. The Crown brings responsibility, which I think I mentioned earlier. There's a huge element of responsibility here. So you may find yourself as like the matriarch or the patriarch of your family at this time for some of you guys, or the head of a business, because perhaps, and it doesn't have to be somebody who died. Maybe you are taking control over a business because the boss is retiring or moving on to bigger and better things. There's some amount of power, wealth, but also responsibility that is being handed to you at this time or in the near future. That's what I'm getting from that. And that makes sense with the Wind card, with all these changes, major changes taking place. And you're being called to tap into a more practical and responsible mindset. And to be mindful about how you spend money and how you prioritize the material things in your life. Okay, so now I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you guys. I'm going to clarify each of those oracle cards, starting with the Man. Clarify the Man, please. Who is this man and what their importance might be. Alright, we have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups usually represents a big, happy family. Tens are all about completion. So this man could very well be a father figure in your life, or a grandfather. Somebody within your family, somebody that you have a deep emotional connection to. Let's see what the wreath is all about. Okay, we have the Six of Blades, or the Six of Swords. So this usually has to do with moving on. With the wreath and the Six of Swords together, I get in my mind the words send off. Like some kind of send off. Like perhaps you are sending somebody else off, or they are sending you off towards some larger goal or greater destination. I want to clarify that. But I will say right off the bat that the vibe I get here is that somebody is leaving. Somebody is leaving. Somebody has either passed, which is a heavy, that's a heavy thing, so I'm not trying to make light of that and skip over it. There is a very great possibility here that someone that you care about deeply has moved on from this plane onto the next. And that may be what triggers the beginning of this whole situation, and what ultimately is the next chapter of your life. However, the Six of Blades could also mean that it's simply somebody who's handing you a lot of responsibility, passing a lot of their things down onto you so that they can go live a different life, right? So they can go try something new, or, you know, move to Florida to spend the rest of their lives on the beach, like whatever it is. It seems like there's somebody who's leaving, and They're leaving you this gift. Now, I will also say, this could be something that happened in the past. Let's say you're very young, and there was somebody who passed away a long time ago and left you an inheritance. You may be reaching the age where you have access to that. That could be very possible as well. I know some trusts and some inheritances are not accessible to the trustee until they reach like either 18 or 25 years of age. It varies. So that's a possibility as well. Let's see what else we've got here for you guys. I'm going to clarify the ring. Okay, we have the Seven of Cups. So, a lot of choices, a lot of options here. And that makes sense, especially if you find or suddenly have a lot of money available to you. It opens a lot of doors. Don't let anybody tell you any differently. Money opens doors. But only one door is right for you. One thing I love about these cards is with the Cups cards, they're elixirs instead of cups, and each bottle says something on it. And it's impossible to see. Well, maybe not impossible. And it says, take one vial. Do not mix. Okay? It says that on every bottle. Take one vial. Do not mix. There's only one choice that's going to be the right choice for you. You're being called to make the responsible decision. There will be a lot of options, and you're not going to be punished necessarily for picking the wrong option, but only one option is going to be aligned with your greater purpose. And there's only going to be like one option that truly honors the gift that's been given to you. Okay. And this has something to do, again, going back for a second, the theme of creative energy is very strong in this reading. You're being called to do what's right for you while honoring this gift that has been given to you. There's something that you have the power and the, like the creative inspiration to bring into this world, whether it be some sort of business endeavor, or maybe you're being called to invest in your art, or a skill or a talent that you have. Perhaps for some of you, you are being called to invest this gift in your education towards something that holds a lot of meaning to you in your life. If this has to do with money and wealth, use it responsibly. Make the responsible choice. That is what I'm getting from this so far. And actually, because that came out underneath the ring, now that I think about it, coming at this from a different perspective for just a second, for some of you guys, you may have to agree to specific stipulations in order to receive this gift or this inheritance. You may be directed to do something specific with the money or the property or whatever it is. We're just going to call it the gift from here on out, because I feel like it encompasses all the options. Now, to clarify the crown, we have the Three of Rods. And to me, the Three of Rods can symbolize a couple different things. One major thing is like a breakthrough, a creative breakthrough, a realization of some kind. And this could be the realization of the power that you have, but also the responsibility that you have with this gift. For some of you, you may have the option to pass this gift along to someone else if you do not feel that responsibility is right for you. But for others, I feel like you're going to realize just what this gift could do for you. And how you could turn it into something that lasts a really long time. I'm seeing like a creative business endeavor, right? So it's or starting an organization of some kind. That's a possibility as well. There's something that you already are thinking of, something that you've wanted to create for some time, something that you've been interested in or felt inspired to one day create. And this gift makes that possible for you. And it's easy to get distracted on your way to point B from point A. But part of this is about keeping your eyes on the prize. Being able to manage all the major changes that are occurring in your life because of this. But then also being able to see things from a greater perspective, looking at the long-term possibilities and consequences of your decisions, and investing in a creative idea that you have had for quite a while. Although I suppose for some of you, it may be a new idea, but I think that it's one of those things that will feel right. Like you'll feel it in your heart that it's something that you want to do, or it's something that holds meaning to you. I get that from the Three of Wands. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now and switch to the Dreams of Gaia Tarot deck. And this is a new deck. Anyway, this is a new deck, so I'm not going to lie, I haven't completely learned it yet. It's very different from regular tarot decks. So my interpretations from these cards, these just a few cards that I pull from this deck, may be a little bit lackluster, but this is how I learned, so I'm just going to use them. Also, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, and they have a lot to do with healing and growing. And these are major themes that are at play for everybody right now, this time of year, with everything that's going on. Alrighty. So we have the Ten of Fire. This is the completion of some kind. And you see all of the chakras lit up in this drawing right here, right? So there's this idea of alignment. He is literally on fire, capable of creating anything he feels inspired to create. He's in full control of his own personal power, which I think describes you either now or in the near future. You will be in full control of your destiny, basically. That's why the next decision that you make, or the decision that's implied by this Seven of Cups, that's why it's so important. Is because with this power that you are gaining, your actions, your decisions, will have greater consequences, greater rewards. And so you have to be very mindful, very careful that the decisions you make today are going to bring you the tomorrow that is truly right for you, that you really, that you really want to have. All right. We also have the Four of Wands, Four of Fire. Excuse me, it's Four of Fire in this deck. And this is all about focus and commitment. Focus and commitment. Which I said something earlier about making sure that you're not getting distracted by the little things, by, distractions. They come in all shapes and sizes, all forms. So, keeping your eyes on the prize, spending your time, your energy, and your resources as wisely as possible in order to bring this dream that you have into life. Get one more for you guys here. A lot of fire in this reading, by the way. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Air. The Queen of Intellect, Queen of Truth, Queen of Knowledge. This has a lot to do with making wise decisions. I'm going to stare at the card for just a second, see what else comes to me from looking at it. Right, because we have the owl symbolism, and that's all about wisdom, right? Making sure that you're taking all the lessons that you've learned in your life up until this point and applying that knowledge to your present situation. I'm going to show you the card again to trick my camera into focusing. It did not work. Didn't work at all. Sorry about that. Honestly, what I'm getting from the Queen of Air here is a need to cut frivolous things out of your life in order to focus on your plans, in order to focus on your creative endeavors, okay? Getting down to business, being decisive, and committing to your decisions, committing to your plans. Commitment, responsibility, focus are the major themes of this reading. So when we go back to the hedonist card at the front there, that you can't see because my camera won't focus, that really to me is a warning of, you know, making sure that you don't get caught up in little things or in, you know, meaningless pleasures that distract you from your greater goals here. Things are going really well for you, which does allow you a certain level of comfort, allows you a lot of wiggle room in terms of your resources. However, you're being called to focus on your future right now. Whether or not that's a stipulation of the agreement upon which you received that gift, because that still is a possibility here. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Flowers from the Dead Oracle to see what else Spirit might have for you guys. I think I'll just clarify each of these 3 cards down here, starting with the Ten of Fire. And clarify the Ten of Fire, please. Alright, so to clarify that Ten of Fire, we have the Chicken. Bold and courageous. Really being encouraged here to put yourself out there, to aim high, go straight for your dreams, and have the confidence in your own ability to do it. Because in this reading, really honestly, if there's anything that would hold you back, it would have to be something that has to do with your own confidence, your belief in your own abilities. Because it seems to me that if this resonates with you, that you have a lot of resources, or at least enough resources at your disposal to achieve your dream, or at least to get the ball rolling. You just have to believe in yourself and your ability to get the job done. Okay, so now I'm going to clarify the Four of Fire. Okay, so clarifying the Four of Fire, we have the Crow, mystery and magic. So this is an interesting combination, right? The call to focus and commit yourself, dedicate yourself to the process. But also there's this element of mystery and magic, which to me is related to kind of like the archetype of the magician, where you have the power to create something out of nothing here. I mean, as close to magic as you might get in some senses. But there's mystery here as well. So this path may bring you into the realm of the unknown, at least the unknown to you as far as you're concerned. So I think this has a lot to do with, you know, having faith in the process and having faith in the universe and taking a chance. Sticking your neck out a little bit in order to achieve your dreams. Staying dedicated and following this path wherever it leads you, potentially into the unknown. That's a very interesting combination, actually. You know, I almost get the feeling that, like, whatever, this is like alchemy, right? Whatever it is that you're creating, you're being called to spend so much time, energy, and focus on this project or whatever it may be, because it's almost like you're the only person who can do it. Like, it's divinely guided. You are being pushed in this direction. The way life has happened for you, the way things are coming together, it's almost like Spirit is aligning things in your life to make this possible for you, because this has something to do with your greater purpose. Whatever it is that you have the opportunity to create here is very important, and it's something that only you can do. And I mean, potentially someone else could do it, but it wouldn't be what it needs to be. There's some quality that you have, some knowledge that you have, some spark of inspiration that only you have that makes this right. And I understand that's very vague and it's hard to follow, but if this resonates with you, if this reading is for you, then I feel like it's all going to click and you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And that's a part of the responsibility thing too, going back to that. Again, I know I'm harping on the responsibility point, but it is quite a big responsibility when there's something that needs to be created and you're the only one who can do it right. But you're the only one who can do it right. Everyone has a purpose on this planet, or multiple purposes. This is one of your purposes. This is something that you are meant to fulfill. And that's why you're being called to focus so hard. Okay, so I'm just going to clarify the Queen of Air. And then we'll move on to some animal cards. Enlightenment and faith. So like I was saying earlier with the walrus, excuse me. Enlightenment and faith. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Having faith in the process. Okay, taking the wisdom that you've gained up until this point and putting it to good use. Having that understanding that everything that has occurred in your life happened for a reason, to teach you something very important, something that's going to come to use, something that's going to be important later on down the line. Okay, there's something very important in your life that you've learned through difficult experiences that may have not made sense in the past, but it's going to make sense for you in the near future. And you're going to understand that you had to learn those difficult lessons in order to put that knowledge to work to create something new, to create whatever this new important thing is that you're meant to create. But above all, have faith. Have faith in the universe, have faith in the process, and have faith in yourself. Faith in your ability to get the job done. Faith in the inspiration that you have received, probably from a divine source. And faith that when you need something, you will be able to find it. Even if you already don't have it at hand, which you might. But you will always find what you need when you need it. This whole situation seems divinely set up to me. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a couple cards from the animal deck. It's the Terra Oracle deck. And these are either qualities within yourself that you need to pay attention to and be aware of, or qualities from our animal friends that you can adopt to help you in this situation, to help you move forward. What do we have for Virgo, please? So it gave me 3 cards right off the bat. On the floor, of course. So first we have the platypus, individuality. Okay, there's something very special about you. And I'm not flattering you here. This is what the reading is saying. This is what I'm getting from this. Is that there is something about you as an individual. Something that you have to offer the rest of the world. Your community. Or somebody in particular. There's something that only you can offer. Something that only you can create. And then we have the monarch butterfly. And it says change. Which this is the second card on the table to say change. Major changes happening in your life. You're being called to make some major changes as well. And I think that those major changes have to do with how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, how you spend your resources, and how you prioritize things in your life. And then we have the poison frog, upheaval. This can be something that's already happened in the past, or this can be something that's happening right now. And that does make sense with all of these changes occurring. Okay, something occurring in your life that creates this upheaval that motivates you to focus your energy, focus your intentions on your inspirations, on your creative endeavors, on making something out of yourself and out of the things that you have available to you. So the upheaval card can be a little bit scary, a little bit negative. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just know that whatever happens, even if it's something that you could perceive as being negative, it is happening to make this dream possible for you. Go with it. Roll with the punches. plan ahead and just go with it, and you're going to be all right. I'm going to pull a couple cards now from a couple different decks, and then we're going to call it good. The next card, next two cards I'm going to pull are going to be from the Illuminated Earth Oracle. And I don't have a specific question for these cards. It's just any additional advice or insight from Spirit that could be useful to you in this situation. So first we have support. This has come out in like 3 other readings that I've done this week. The support card. Okay. You are supported. There is support available to you. Even if things get difficult, just remember, you're supported. You're supported by the universe. You're supported by the people who love you. You're supported by those that you may not have even met yet. Just know that when you hit bumps in the road, you are supported. And you can overcome anything on your own merit, but also with this support of others who want to see you succeed. Next card we have is evolution. And to me, this has a lot to do with your own personal evolution. Okay? You are growing as a person here. I see someone here who is growing up, honestly. Somebody's learning how to be more responsible. Somebody who is beginning to grasp the importance of the talents, the gifts, and the skills that you have already. The importance of self-betterment and the importance of focus and dedication. Okay. And that theme of evolution actually goes right along with change and even the upheaval, right? That this upheaval, if it is something that you could perceive as being negative, a negative event in your life, it is contributing to your own personal inner evolution. Things are changing right now, and they're changing permanently, but for the better. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now from the Faceted Garden Oracle, we have the pollinator. Okay, and the pollinator is a very important member of the ecosystem. Appropriates resources accordingly to allow for new growth. Making sure that you are putting your resources in the right place. Okay, making sure that you are honestly in terms of the cards that we have on the table right now, this card is all about investing your resources in the right place. That's what that card is about here. So it's just harping on that same point over and over again. Be careful with your money, be careful with your resources, and make sure that you are investing them properly in order to attain the goal that you are working towards at this time. And then we have animal allies. Okay. So this can have to do with a literal animal in your life that may be helpful to you at this time. But this also has to do with, if you think of humans as being animals, which we are, these could also be human allies in your life, coming into your life at this time to help further this process along, to help you achieve your goals, or that may have, that may share the same goal with you. This could also have a lot to do with tapping into your own instincts. Your own instinct, your own intuition, the unconscious self, in order to drive the creative process. So with that, I would say 2 things. 1, be open to guidance from others. Be open to receiving help from other people in this process. You play an extremely important role in this process, but there are others who can help you. But also, be open to ideas and inspiration that may occur to you from within, from the subconscious, from the gut, your intuition, somewhere deep inside yourself that you may not have even really knew existed. And actually, now that I think about it, you may benefit a lot from meditation if you start to run into issues, or you have a small problem that you are looking to solve, what that tells me is that you have a lot of the answers already within yourself. And you're being called to tap into, like, I call it the undermind. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but like, if you think of your surface consciousness, your surface mind, you're being called to tap down deeper into yourself, to connect to that intuition, and to connect to the inspiration that is driving this whole thing. This is a very interesting reading, you guys. It may seem like it was a little bit all over the place, and I do want to say that when readings do that, when they do seem to be kind of like scattered, usually that means the energy is scattered. It means there's a lot going on in your situation, that things may be kind of chaotic, which brings in the theme of bringing order into chaos, which could be what's happening for you right now. Okay, bringing order into a life or a period of time in your life that could be very chaotic, in order to bring this dream to life. So if I had to wrap this all in a pretty little bow, some things would still fall out the sides. But what I would say is that if you feel inspired to create something, if you have something deep within yourself that you feel driven to achieve, even if you don't understand it completely, go for it. Because it's divinely guided here. There's no question in my mind about that. This is something that you're meant to do. You have the brains, you have the brawn, you have the support, you have the resources, and if you don't see that you have the resources at this time, they are coming to you. You can make this happen. You can bring your dreams to life, and you definitely should go for it. So if there's something that you've been wanting to achieve and you have not been sure about it, take this as confirmation that you should do it, and, start making plans. And make sure that you are committed and dedicated to the process, because it is going to take a lot of hard work. It is going to be a responsibility. But ultimately, it's really going to pay off for you, and it's going to be something special that no one else has created before. Something very individual, something very unique that you have the potential to create and to bring into existence. So, hopefully all that made sense and it was helpful for somebody. But that's what I've got for you guys this week, Virgo. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed it, if it resonated, don't forget to like it, subscribe it, etc. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next one.